and welcome to the first episode of Tech Headlines Today, where we bring you top tech headlines daily in an easy listening podcast. Go ahead and subscribe or follow to see tomorrow's episode first. Let's get into it. Why the Belarus Railways hack marks a first for ransomware. The politically motivated attack represents a new frontier for hacktivists and won't be the last of its kind. On Monday, a group of Belarusian political motivated hackers, known as the Belarusian Cyber Partisans, announced on Twitter and Telegram that they had breached the computer systems of Belarusian Railways, the country's national train system, as part of a hacktivist effort the attackers called Scorching Heat. The attackers have since posted screenshots that appear to show their access to the railway's back-end systems and claim to have encrypted its network with malware, for which they would only provide decryption keys if the Belarus government met a list of demands. They've called for the release of 50 political prisoners detained in the midst of the country's protest against dictator Alexander Lukashenko, as well as a commitment from Belarusian Railways to not transport Russian troops as the Kremlin prepares for a possible invasion of Ukraine on multiple fronts. Maybe creator funds are bad. In the summer of 2020, TikTok set aside $200 million to pay U.S. creators in what it called a creator fund. This wasn't a common practice at the time. The more seasoned platform YouTube paid creators by distributing funds through its partner program, established in 2007, which enables revenue sharing on the advertisements that play on the creators' uploads. But over the last few years, as every social media company has tried to compete with TikTok's growing popularity, these platforms all created their own creator programs. YouTube established a 100 million creator fund for shorts, Snapchat is offering cash prizes for submissions through Spotlight challenges, and Instagram is showering Reels creators with gamified cash bonuses. Objectively, it should be a good thing for creators when big tech companies funnel large sums of money to them, right? But as VidCon founder, recent TikTok star, longtime YouTuber, Hank Green pointed out in a recent video essay, creator funds may not be all they're cracked up to be. It's possible that these funds function better as a way to make the companies look good. Hey, we're paying independent artists, than they do as a way for creators to make money. FTC fines online shop $4 million for hiding reviews below 4 stars. We all know online reviews must be taken with a grain of salt, but generally you'd like to think that a product with a 4.5 star average is better than one with a 3.5 star average. You might be wrong, since the site you're looking at might not even permit bad reviews to appear, like Fashion Nova, which just incurred a $4.2 million settlement order from the FTC. What happened was this. Fashion Nova used a third-party review management tool, which is surely a common thing for everyone running a site that lets users review items that they buy. But then they did a bad thing. From 2015 to 2019, they had 4- and 5-star reviews appear automatically on the site, while anything lower than that would require approval. And they didn't approve, hundreds of thousands of them, artificially inflating the perceived quality of the goods on the site. Fashion Nova misrepresented that the reviews on its website accurately reflected the views of all purchasers who submitted reviews to the site. The proposed settlement puts provisions in place to address Fashion Nova's deceptive practice and orders Fashion Nova to pay $4.2 million for harm consumers incurred, wrote the FTC in a blog post explaining the situation. A bug lurking for 12 years gives attackers root on every major Linux distro. It's likely only a matter of time before the pwnket is exploited in the wild. Linux users on Tuesday got a major dose of bad news. A 12-year-old vulnerability in a system tool called Polkit gives attackers unfettered root privileges on machines running any major distribution of the open-source operating system. Previously called PolicyKit, Polkit manages system-wide privileges in Unix-like OSs. It provides a mechanism for non-privileged processes to safely interact with privileged processes. It also allows users to execute commands with high privileges by using a component called pkexec, followed by the command. PwnKit was discovered by researchers from a security in Qualys in November and was disclosed on Tuesday, after being patched in most Linux distributions. How Brexit and low-code helped transform Pharmatrans's supply chain. Pharmatrans turned the complexity of new customer regulations into a streamlined, automated system for managing its food transport business with the help of low-code development. It's no secret that Brexit created an international commerce headache for many. This is particularly true for the companies responsible for transport of goods and services between the EU and the newly emancipated UK, thanks to new customs requirements that have disrupted trade between the two entities. Netherlands-based Pharmatrans was not immune from this disruption. Even before the customs requirements of Brexit were scheduled to take effect on January 1st, 2021, a customer of the Netherlands-based food transport specialist asked the company for a specific solution to help them navigate the new rules for them shipping goods between the EU and the UK. To meet the customer's needs, FarmTrans adopted a low-code approach to building a new logistics application, since given the uncertainties of Brexit, agility and flexibility in the development process were crucial. That paved the way for the company to fundamentally change in the company's logistics management. iPhone becomes the top smartphone in China for the first time in 6 years. Apple became the top smartphone brand in China for the first time in 6 years in the fourth quarter of 2021. While smartphone sales in China declined 9% on the year for the third consecutive quarter in the fourth quarter of 2021, and smartphone sales declined 2% in 2021 for the fourth consecutive year, Apple finally surpassed Vivo to become the country's top smartphone brand. In total, Apple captured 23% of the Chinese smartphone market in the fourth quarter of 2021, its highest ever market share in the country. We can't afford to stop solar geoengineering research. It is the wrong time to take the strategy for combating climate change off the table. No scientist is happy about the prospect of solar geoengineering, but we are going to need a pipeline of thoughtful, experienced people who understand both science and the governance issues. If we disincentivize people from developing that expertise, we may not like the results. Good science takes years to develop. If we put off research until the 2030s, we could find ourselves in a world that's made from some uneven progress on the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, but not enough. With temperatures still heading toward 3 degrees Celsius of warming, we can't then suddenly hope to produce rigorous science that would help us understand whether solar geoengineering is advisable. For a start, the U.S. should follow the well-thought-out recommendations set up by the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine Committee that recently grappled with this, and fund a modest, careful research program now. Nobel Foundation site hit by DDoS attack on award day. The Nobel Foundation and the Norwegian Nobel Institute have disclosed a cyber attack that unfolded during the award ceremony on December 10, 2021. Nobel is an annual prize awarded to people whose work in physics, chemistry, physiology, medicine, literature, and peace has been exceptional and is deemed particularly beneficial to humanity. The Nobel Prize ceremony is being live-streamed from Oslo and Stockholm, and as such, DDoS attacks can interrupt the video feed and possibly even blemish the prestige of the institution. As revealed, the institution's site was hit by a DDoS attack, which aims to overwhelm a website with high volume of garbage traffic and a large number of bogus connection requests. This action depletes the available server resources and renders the website unable to serve real visitors. Therefore, it appears as if it went offline. The cyber attack subjected the websites to extremely high loads and was designed to try to prevent our ability to update and publish new information about the Nobel Prize and the achievements of the Nobel laureates, details the official announcement. The Nobel Foundation and the Norwegian Nobel Institute therefore regard this as a serious attack on the Nobel Prize and have reported it to the police in order to help generate awareness of this type of cyber attack. At present, there is no information on who could be behind the cyber attack, but there are several potential candidates. Let's Encrypt is revoking lots of SSL certificates in 2 days. Let's Encrypt will begin revoking certain SSL and TLS certificates issued within the last 90 days starting January 28, 2022. The move could impact millions of active Let's Encrypt certificates. As a non-profit certificate authority run by the Internet Security Research Group, Let's Encrypt provides X.509 certificates for transport layer security encryption at no cost. Site owners with the affected Let's Encrypt certificates are reporting receiving email notifications instructing them to renew the certificates as the revocation is about to kick in. If you receive the email, then your account has successfully obtained at least one certificate in the last 90 days that was validated using the TLS ALPN 01 challenge, explains Let's Encrypt in the aforementioned thread. All certificates issued in the last 90 days and validated with the TLS ALPN 01 challenge are affected. You need to force renew the certificate according to your ACME client's direction. If your client requires you to make a configuration change, please remember to revert after your certificate is renewed. Given the short notice, not all users may be pleased with Let's Encrypt's sudden but necessary move. On the bright side, though, those using automated certificate management solutions like Caddy Web Server can rest easy. Sites using Caddy version 2.4.2 or newer should not have to take any action when automated certificates are revoked. Enjoy your sleep, touts the team behind the Caddy Web Server. Microsoft Cloud growth forecast bodes well for tech rivals too. After a brief scare, Microsoft Corporation reassured tech investors late on Tuesday that the enterprise internet cloud business category had plenty of room to grow. Shares of the software and service giants sank as much as 6% on Tuesday after it reported less than stellar growth in its cloud business. but they rebounded after Microsoft set a growth target ahead of Wall Street's in the current quarter, erasing earlier after-hours losses to trade 3% above closing price. Accelerating constant currency growth for Azure, Microsoft's flagship cloud offering, coupled with the strong demand, will likely be reflected in upcoming financial reports from Microsoft rivals Amazon.com and Alphabet Inc.'s Google. I very much think investors should feel confident after you saw that in the rebound in the stock after management commentary and then guidance, said analyst Mark Mordler of Bernstein. Projected Azure growth validates the strength of the business and the sustainability of all cloud growth. Apple grabs record China market share as Q4 sales surge research. Intel scores major win as court scraps €1.2 billion antitrust fine. Intel on Wednesday won its fight against a €1.06 billion antitrust fine that the US chipmaker was handed 12 years ago for stifling a rival, in a major setback for EU antitrust regulators. The judgment by Europe's second top court in support of Intel's arguments is likely to cheer Google on in its fight against hefty EU antitrust fines, and Apple, Amazon, and Facebook, which are in the EU antitrust enforcers' crosshairs. The European Commission penalized Intel in 2009 for trying to block rival advanced micro devices by giving rebates to computer makers Dell, Hewlett-Packard, and Lenovo for buying most of their chips from Intel. The Luxembourg-based General Court, Europe's second highest court, criticized the EU competition enforcers' analysis and annulled the fine. The Commission said it would study the judgment and reflect on the possible next steps. Gibraltar could launch the world's first crypto stock exchange. The Rock hopes a new stock exchange will attract crypto millionaires who want to avoid hefty taxes. British entrepreneur and financier Richard Odell Polden hopes that a new venture will relieve the plight of an underserved cohort. In October, Polden's Gibraltar-based company, Valorum, at the time named Valorum Blockchain, announced plans to buy an 80% stake in the Gibraltar Stock Exchange to create an integrated exchange where conventional stocks and financial products could be traded for cryptocurrency. If the Gibraltarian financial regulator approves the deal, it would make the British overseas territory, also dubbed the Rock, home to the first stock exchange of this kind in the world. And it would, Poulden says, finally help the crypto millionaires squeeze more money out of their tokens. Apple may reveal its biggest sales quarter ever. How much larger can the iPhone get? A pandemic, economic uncertainty, and an international chip shortage apparently haven't slowed the tech giant. Ever since Apple became a trillion-dollar company a few years ago, analysts and tech industry experts alike have frequently wondered aloud, how much larger can it get? We'll get an answer Thursday when Apple announces its fiscal first quarter sales and tells us how many iPhones, Macs, and other products it sold during the holiday shopping season. Apple has built a lot of its business around this period, timing product launches like those of its well-reviewed iPhone 13, its revamped MacBook Pro laptops, its iPads, and the Apple Watch Series 7 to maximize sales as people hunt for gifts for family and friends. After the quarter's December close, investors pushed Apple's shares so high that the company valued topped $3 trillion for the first time, despite ongoing supply shortages for chips and other technology. German government warns of App27 hackers backdooring business networks. The BFG German Domestic Intelligence Service warned of ongoing attacks coordinated by the App27 Chinese-backed hacking group. This active campaign is targeting German commercial organizations, with the attackers using the Hyperbro remote access Trojan to backdoor their networks. Hyperbro helps the threat actors maintain persistence on the victims' networks by acting as an in-memory backdoor with remote administration capabilities. The agency said that the threat group's goal is to steal sensitive information and may also attempt to target their victims' customers in supply chain attacks. In these attacks, they successfully compromised at least 9 organizations from critical sectors worldwide, including defense, healthcare, energy, technology, and education, according to Palo Alto Networks researchers. In light of these campaigns, the FBI and CISA issued joint advisories warning of apt actors exploiting managed engine flaws to drop web shells on the networks of breached critical infrastructure orgs. App27 and other Chinese-backed hacking groups were also linked to attacks exploiting critical proxy logon bugs in early March 2021 that allowed them to take over and steal data from unpatched Microsoft Exchange servers worldwide. US and allies officially blamed China in June for last year's widespread Microsoft Exchange hacking campaign. Sideaware, which leverages AI and drones to track construction site progress, nabs additional funding. Founded by Guy Raz and Ori Afek in 2015 as Dronomy, Sideaware uses fleets of drones to collect data from construction sites. Raz was formerly a senior researcher at GM's R&D center in Israel before joining Pebbles Interface, which was later acquired by Meta, formerly Facebook, to direct the Electro-Optics Group. Afek previously founded Optico Systems, which develops electro-optical systems for defense applications. Using Sideaware, customers get job site level visibility into layout, workmanship, and emission of things like concrete forms and steel and curtain wall embeds. The platform provides a breakdown of masonry installation and detailing, waterproofing and sealants, siding elements and finishes, and exterior elements verified by Sideaware's digital twin technology. We fly within the building's footprint and at a height that doesn't trigger any authorization from the FAA except in special circumstances, Broad clarified. When needed, we have been granted authorization in areas requiring it because of the previously mentioned implementation. We use third-party FAA licensed drone operators to do that data capture on behalf of the company. Microsoft fixes Windows 11 HDR color rendering problems. Microsoft has fixed a known issue affecting systems running Windows 11 version 21H2, where applications may have problems rendering colors correctly on HDR displays when using Win32 APIs. HDR displays come with a significantly increased range of color due to their support for a wider color gamut, resulting in more vivid colors when compared to SDR ones. They also allow for more precise colors given their added support for more color shades. After installing Windows 11, some image editing programs might not render colors correctly on certain HDR displays, Microsoft explained at the time on the Windows Health dashboard. This is frequently observed with white colors, which could display in bright yellow or other colors. This issue occurs when certain color rendering Win32 APIs return unexpected information or errors under specific conditions. The company also added that not all Windows 11 profile management programs are impacted by this HDR color rendering known issue. And that wraps up this first episode of Tech Headlines Today. Please subscribe and follow, and we'll see you tomorrow for more.